I believe 2 sweeps now against Envy. So if NRG can win here, and then Envy make it through with a 3-1 score on today, that will put them on the same side of the bracket tomorrow, if I am not mistaken.
We leave these sort of things to Gibbs. He'll have all the answers for us and more after this series is done. But this is the important one for both these teams. It's a statement opportunity for them both. And yesterday, Johnny, for those who didn't catch it, Spacestation Gaming were not as convincing as we were hoping they were going to be.
Yeah, they've just had at least a couple of their players, Arsenal and Rettles. I'm not sure about typical, but you know, they're moving into a team house now. So that's obviously a change of scenery for them. Sometimes that can be the catalyst in, you know, reigniting the flame to bring them to the top of NA again. But yesterday, it didn't look that way. They were very uncomfortable on the ball. You know, Rettles towards the end of the series, Arsenal at the start of it. So I've got NRG winning this. I wouldn't be surprised if it's another sweep. They've been sweeping absolutely everybody. And, you know, Rogue managed to take a game off them earlier on today, but that was because Rogue played brilliantly, not because NRG have fallen off at all.
Well, Rogue have continued to play brilliantly. They are 3-0 over the top of Alpine in our mid bracket. So they will now move to 2-1 and have 2 opportunities to qualify for the playoffs. Garrett G follows up. Typical. That's a good bounce actually for him, but it doesn't go all the way over to Justin. There's 2 players you don't want that ball bouncing over to. It will be Justin and Typical. Other players here can have quite major impacts, but those are the 2 main ones. Garrett, I'll follow this one up. It's now bounced over to Typical. Blast it over the top. Rettles gives chase. Puts it over to the corner. Is this going to be a race for the ball? No. Typical backs down, gives it over to Justin.
Yeah, you knew Justin had him beat there, so just fake the challenge. Justin's had to waste all that boost to get to the ball, so now at least he can't do much with it. No point in Typical lunging in and taking himself out of the game. That miss from Rettles actually going to let the ball come towards Arsenal, who's been dunked on pretty hard by Squishy, but Typical, he does well. Yeah, NRG, team to beat in NA right now. I think if they can keep up their recent form, hard to argue that they're the best team in the world even. Because the NA teams seem to be a bit more consistent than EU at the start of the season. Oh, look at this from Spacestation Gaming though. Talk about first-class delivery. Typical just bringing it straight down onto Rettles. No challenge on the shot from Justin. Rettles puts it home.
I don't think Justin was expecting it to be that clean. Just tries to sit himself back. Maybe he can run onto the next ball afterwards, but right onto the top of Rettles. He just has to pick his spot. And let the ball do the rest of the work. Now pass behind. It's over to Justin.
Beautiful.
And that was a defense slicing touch to set it up by Squishy.
Yeah, Garrett G just takes the 50-50. Didn't want to play too risky there. Gets the ball to roll out into a very safe location. And Squishy picks his spot well. Justin running full speed onto an open net. 1-1. It's just all too easy for NRG these days. Passing plays have been improving for them more and more over the past few weeks. They've obviously got the individual skill on lockdown. I think Justin probably still I think maybe the best mechanical player in the world. Definitely one of the scariest to have to deal with. I think Garrett, well in the discussion for greatest Rocket League player of all time. Oh, Squishy almost getting on the score sheet as well. Yeah, when you've got a team like this, you just all you need to do is look at the nameplates and, you know, yeah, that's going to work out. There's a strange amount of people doubting about the fact that NRG would dominate, and I really don't know where that idea came from. It seems pretty obvious to me that this is a team with a winning formula.
It was me. I've been trying to spread the rumors the entire time. The secret network that I've got going. Rettles looking to try and sneak this one over the top. Quite do so, but Rettles looking confident today, taking a lot more individual plays than we saw yesterday. Squishy already up. And as soon as you saw there wasn't a challenge, you kind of knew that there was only one possible result.
I think Squishy was briefly a bit surprised that he had this ball for free. You saw that as the ball was going up to the back wall, he waited a bit, and I think that's a good lesson for a lot of you guys watching. You don't need to jump up into the air at the earliest possible moment, especially for these low rebounds. It's quite easy for Squishy to get up to that ball after waiting, just weighing up the situation, seeing if he's going to have a free hit or a challenge shot, and then he can just go up and put the ball in on an uncontested rebound. So yeah, just perfect play in the position from NRG. Space Station a bit too standoff. I think both teams actually a bit too standoff in defense. You don't win against either of these teams by letting them come at you. The challenge game needs to be aggressive.
I've seen both teams trading opportunities back and forth. Very little to glean from this so far as to which team really does have the upper hand, but NRG have at least created the better opportunities, and Space Station Gaming almost like some daisical when it comes to their way of defending, but now they've got to start really kicking this into gear. 35 seconds, Arsenal already up. Squishy gets the bump on him, and that is something that we're seeing more and more of these days. As air dribbles have become more and more deadly, teams have started trying to aim for the player instead, and Justin's touch doesn't really leave much for NRG to work with offensively. Last opportunity possibly here for Space Station Gaming. Garrett already goes over the top, and NRG just wasting so much time here. Not getting anything for free. Justin clatters into both Typical and Rettles, who goes up for this. Bounces awkwardly for Arsenal. He's not going to have too many teammates to really work with, especially when he's getting smothered like that by NRG. Still keeps going. Off the side, and it comes off the post.
Oh.
And Space Station Gaming, despite a valiant attempt, couldn't get the play put together.
This is a bit of a reminder for Space Station about the very last time that they played against NRG. It was actually, I think, the first series win that NRG got against Space Station this season. Sweeping win in the grid. But the standout thing for me was actually NRG's defense. Space Station were putting together some really threatening chances. The passing was on point. The shots were good. But the goalkeeping for NRG is just something else. This is a team who are not afraid of getting inside that goal. To give themselves more space to work with, more time to react to the shot that's coming at you. We've seen plenty times over this weekend, players getting caught on the wrong side of that goal line. But yeah, when you back up into it, you've got a bit of an easier time, moving forwards to make saves, because you've got to remember Rocket League means that players are driving cars. They can't turn on the spot like you can in a lot of other games, a lot of other sports. You need to go, if you want to get the most momentum possible, you need to give yourself a run up. So look to NRG's defensive positioning to carry them, to provide that foundation that they can keep on building this sweep out of. So far, so good. Space Station have looked okay. NRG have looked better.
So you might have seen on my face there, Johnny, a bit of a sad look. And it's not because of your analysis. Oh, no, sorry. It is because, unfortunately, I have to tell you that our boys over on Zero Issue are out.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Lose 3-2 against XSET. So they will be our first elimination on the day. But you could see the second elimination happening over at twitch.tv/eLeague TV, where it's Ghost Gaming against Stromboli. Stromboli pretty much used to this position, actually. They have already reverse swept an entire bracket in the first stage. Now they have to do it again if they want to try and make the playoffs. NRG starting us off here in a very good offensive position, and so far, Space Station Gaming keep getting caught out by these booming hits.
Yeah, NRG need to just keep on finding the balance between the finesse, the outplays, and the brute force that has become more and more of a part of their game recently. Right now, you're seeing it's a very outplay-focused style with these chip shots and passes off walls, not giving Space Station any time or any opportunities to get touches on the ball. But, using an occasional 50-50 is also good. Oh, Squishy with a double touch has managed to put this one in. I don't know if he needed it. It looked like it might have been unsavable anyway. Arsenal left Rettles out to dry on that play, but, why not? Why leave it up to chance? You might as well double it in.
Look, as long as it gets written down as Squishy double touch,
yeah,
it doesn't matter how it happened, okay? As long as it actually goes in. And wait a second, Rettles has gone massive here. And I think it's something that Space Station Gaming might have to start looking out for more, because Rettles is getting a lot of success with his draw plays. What's getting even more success is NRG jumping for it and not necessarily making contact every time, just shadowing for the next players as they come in to take shots.
Squishy knew, though. I wonder if Garrett called that he was going to miss that, or that he was going to, fake that, because Squishy was on that ball the very second that Garrett missed it. So it could have been some brilliant communication there. Alternatively, it could just be Squishy providing another option. It's just a safety net. Well, if Garrett doesn't get the contact here, I better be ready, because that's where you want to be. Following up behind him. NRG playing so smooth. Space Station, definitely the slower of the two teams at the moment. That wasn't the case the first few times that they played this season. It was, I think, quite an even matchup in terms of pace and mechanics, and Spacestation were getting wins because they were able to play the dirtier game, get the bumps, get the demos, the mind games, just really get inside the heads of NRG. But I think the fact that NRG have leveled up mechanically, as if we even thought that was possible at the start of the season, so kind of left Spacestation behind.
I do want to point out that is the third time now I've seen Rettles get some sort of play where the ball ricochets off the backboard of NRG, and again, they just don't have somebody there quick enough. They've got to start trusting that now and start almost putting that second man up a little bit further forward. Trust the third man to cover the potential angles. That's not a great touch from Typical. Garrett G will happily be all over that one. To the midfield. Rettles straight for net and straight into Squishy. Who will quite easily keep that clean sheet for the team. And Justin over to Garrett. What a passing play that was. Over off the crossbar. Justin again. And it was inevitable at some point one of these shots was going to go in.
I mean, the difference is so clear to see. That's one. And then two, both times NRG faster to the punch. And how about that for accuracy? Justin slams it in the top corner. NRG going from strength to strength here, and Spacestation are totally lost for what to do. I think the only answer really is to just get absolutely filthy with this game. Go for, 50-50s only. That's more like it. That'll do. If Spacestation bring the game down, then NRG can't flex their aerial dominance. That's some sick passing by Arsenal and Rettles. Typical with the drop down as well. A great response from SSG.
You said you wanted it to be a filthy game. That was anything but. That was fantastic.
Maybe that
gorgeous.
It was the other type of filthy goal there. Maybe not exactly what I had in mind, but hey, it does the job. It does the job. It was filthy clean.
Ah, there you go. That works. SSG need another goal. Typical looks to deliver as Justin forced him to keep going up. Justin didn't play that at all as if he wanted to try and find the ball. He just started aerialing higher and higher and higher and just saying to Typical, well, you've got to keep going above me here, mate, because if you don't do that, the ball's just going to hit straight into me. Now Garrett off the backboard, Yili and Squishy weighs up his options, chooses not to jump on in. But a double commit from Spacestation, unneeded as either. There was no real pressure on them from NRG. Now over to Arsenal. He's actually got it! Double tap off the post.
Well, I didn't think that NRG would let that one through, but credits to Spacestation. What a pass. Justin slightly ahead of himself there as he rotated back to net, so it could have perhaps been an easy deflection into the corner. Turned into quite an awkward position for him. That is so rare these days to, catch NRG even slightly out of position. They seem ready for anything in every match that they play, but SSG have found a way to get back into this one. That's huge.
And it almost feels like it's too simple, the actual solution itself. It's just some passing plays right down the middle. They haven't had to overcomplicate it. Just leave someone ahead of you, pass it straight to them, and work with the ball after that. 30 seconds here. NRG can get this. It will require a reverse sweep from Spacestation if they want to try and take this. As for Spacestation, they're growing into this one, especially off a few mistakes from NRG. Justin's all the way back, so he'll be forced to challenge against Rettles. Huge demo.
There we go.
Demo. There's Rettles at his best. Back to his peeps form with that one. Now they might get an opportunity for it. Well, do they want to go for the infield pass? Typical. Pops it up high. Where's the follow-up? There it is from Rettles, but Justin's got it covered. No mistakes from him this time around. Just gets rid of it. Looks like we should have overtime. Both these teams, they want to keep this going.
Yeah, that was not necessary, but it was very brave by Rettles to keep that up in the air. We are going to go to overtime anyway, but for a moment there, I thought maybe a big dunk could come in. That's good defense. Rettles matching Squishy for pace. Justin gets the ball past Typical. Arsenal didn't have to defend against the Garrett G coming into the center because Garrett G waited back. The patient play from NRG continues.
I saw Rettles side flip and it had absolutely no impact on the game whatsoever. But the atomic games is now just, it's got me on edge whenever I see a side flip now. Now Squishy moves on in. Arsenal again just doesn't commit too hard to these plays, does he? He just sits back, waits for the ball to hit him, and that was dangerous. Spacestation tried to play their way out, and now NRG have seen their opportunity. They'll look to start taking both those back boosts. And they look to try and take out a couple of players. Arsenal's gone for now. Rettles forced into defensive action. Squishy looking for the one big opportunity. Rettles ends up missing it, but Typical can blast it long. We could have added a bit more angle. Maybe Arsenal could have been brought into the play.
And Justin is just relentless. He's gone for a double flip reset here, but got knocked out of the air. I swear though, every time Justin touches the ball, he's got Spacestation scrambling. They have to invest so much boost just to keep up with him. It leaves them just completely starved after the fact. However, Spacestation are still in this game. Can they hand NRG their second loss on the day? They managed to drop one against Rogue earlier on. Only one, mind you. I think that would be a win for SSG today. They could even take a game off NRG in their current form. Arsenal's got a good chance to make it here. Had the reset. Squishy managed to get on top of him before the flip could happen. But NRG looks solid. Where do you go to get the ball past him? Oh, how about that, though? Reynolds actually manages to find a way through. Justin. But everybody's back for NRG once again. They're so patient in this matchup.
Reynolds has had so many of those plays, though. It's just, how do they work with it after the fact? Now, Typical moves in from that left-hand side. Garrett G, not the best touch from him, but it does actually set up very well from Justin. Pass over to the left-hand side for him. Maybe it was an attempted pass over to Squishy. We will not know. What we do know is we are 2.5 minutes into this overtime, and Typical does have Arsenal to work with.
Oh.
But this has been a good adjustment, actually, from NRG. They were getting caught by this earlier on this game, and now it's a shot off the crossbar. Squishy looks to buy his team a little bit of time. Spacestation Gaming survive it.
Yeah, Garrett G had the huge read there. That was almost a double by Justin on target. Don't know how much he knew about that one. The Spacestation have to be careful. Their passing has been effective in the final third, but NRG are starting to read those passes, turning them into counter-attacking plays for themselves. And the speed that NRG counter-attack with, I think right now in NA is second to none. They just unload all of a sudden. And Spacestation needs to be aware of that at all times. It's another one of those passing plays. Again, intercepted, this time by Justin. So multiple NRG players reading Spacestation plays.
Yeah, that had its chance to work. That has been and gone now for Spacestation. It's time to go and find the next plan. Typical takes over it. It wasn't a nice bounce out for him, but he goes over to Rettles and rolls off the crossbar. Typical will not miss.
Wow.
Well, down the middle wasn't working, so let's start playing wide.
That's brilliant. I mean, Squishy knew it was coming. He ran into the play to try and get in the way of it, but it was just too well executed by Spacestation this time. They knew the danger about those kind of infield passes, but they just thought, you know what? We're willing to take that risk. You need to take risks against NRG these days. Even if they kind of see it coming, we think we can still make it work. They do. But what a read by Typical at the end there. Not just an open net from Rettles hitting the bar. He had to get up quickly for that one because he didn't have a lot of boost. And if he stopped, the thing that really impressed me about the play is if Typical paused just to see what kind of bounce it was, he would have lost his momentum that he had, and I don't think he had enough boost to get that momentum back to propel himself into the ball. So yeah, really good play to just trust himself to have that read, even though the ball's hitting the underside of the crossbar. And
I do like what Spacestation are doing here. They are, you know, not relenting. They're not giving up on things, even if they don't necessarily work immediately. Because Rocket League's not one of those games where you can just know things and just instantly be able to stop it. There is an air of timing. There's just sometimes the position doesn't quite work out that you can know it's happening. You still can't do anything about it. So Spacestation Gaming still looking solid. And for me, I'm going to continue singing Rettles' praises because defensively, he's always in the way. And offensively, he's getting players out of defense for NRG by constantly playing around them. If they manage to take the ball off him, demo them on the way back.
Yeah, Spacestation have vastly improved since yesterday. We know that's so impressive. Yesterday, they didn't look convincing against competition much lower tier than NRG. And now they've just come back from 2 goals down against NRG, who are playing brilliantly, and they've taken the win. That shows the mentality that this Spacestation squad have got. They never give up, and they, even against NRG, who are playing some unreal Rocket League, they believe that they can get the comeback and take the W.
Here we go, game 3. Justin casually gets a double flip reset to try and set up, as you do. Talking earlier on about how we had 8 goals across 2 games where, you know, the goals just start feeling a little bit less special. Justin does a double flip reset, and we look at it and just go, oh,
yeah, oh yeah, there's that one again.
Yeah.
Justin with his, you know, millionth double flip reset in RLCS. Yeah, good save there by Justin. He's decided to keep the ball in this near post corner. And we might have a 2v2 here. Didn't get a chance to see if we had 2 players locked up in the NRG goal. Oh, a bit disappointing there. It looked like it could happen as we had a head-on collision. Late flip by Garrett. You can see the panic that that's causing Spacestation Gaming. They know they have no time to just sit there and watch when NRG are playing. They have to read them. You can't react to them. You need to read what they're doing, counter it before it happens.
Good booming clear from Arsenal. Might have been Rattles, actually. I'm not entirely sure. Either way, the important thing is that Spacestation Gaming are setting up for opportunities like this one.
Oh my, that's impressive. This is the reverse of the last goal that we saw in the previous game. Now we've got an infield pass to Typical, and look how quickly it all comes together. This is phenomenal stuff, and NRG, they should see it coming at this point. Spacestation have gone for that so many times, whether it's a pass down the line or a pass infield. It's a one pass, one shot play. That's what they're going for over and over again. And to see them pull it off twice in a row after showing it so many times previously just shows how effective that play is. So NRG know that it's coming. They know that that's something Spacestation are going to try.
So, Spacestation Gaming looking to reclaim their throne. That was rudely taken away from them by NRG in the previous regional. And whilst this wouldn't necessarily get them back entirely, it would be a message sent, and it would give NRG a much more difficult time in tomorrow's playoffs, which I think we all have no doubt that they will make, no matter the result here. Garrett G looks to try and find a block. Typical just stares at him and says, well, no, you're looking for the block, mate. I'm not. I'll just wait for the ball to come down here to me.
Yeah, it's been all too easy for NRG up until now in their incredible run of form. I mean, they were on something like a 18 or 19 game winning streak going into the Rogue Series today. I'm not, you know, I lost count literally because their win streak was so long. It's been, you know, a very smooth ride throughout this split a regional number 2 into regional number 3 era that we're in. But now they're out to a pretty sizable bump in the road. Spacestation not only come back from 2 games down and win in overtime, 2 goals down and win in overtime, sorry. But now they've got the lead in the following game. So momentum definitely on their side. Let's see what NRG can do against it. That's a nice play, but it's not, I don't think it's confident enough. The pass and the shot had some power missing on them, and Spacestation aren't going to hold back. Likewise, 2-0 SSG. That was off a double commit, and no third man being in position.
That 2-goal lead, Spacestation Gaming inch closer and closer to that match point. You're talking about the game-winning streak. Well, NRG are currently on a 14-series win streak in itself. They'll want to hold on to that throughout the entirety of this tournament. Spacestation Gaming look to rip that out of their hands before we even make it to the playoffs.
I suppose it is worth mentioning that during SSG's little streak of dominance that they had, NRG had brilliant starts to the series. This is not one of them, though. 3-0. What a drop-down pass from Arsenal. And NRG are just being disposed of in this game. I think they were partly to blame for the second goal, but goal 1, goal 3, just outplays from Spacestation against NRG, which that's crazy to think of these days.
What I love most about these passing plays as well is that they're not even that disguised. We see G2 go for a lot of disguised passing plays. They want to try and mix it up. SSG are just almost flaunting that player downfield, saying, this is the guy that is going to be scoring on you. You know, have fun with it.
Yeah, it's just like the first goal in this game and the last goal in game 2. NRG should see it coming, but they still can't, and I'm sure they do see it coming, but they still can't do anything about it because the passing has been so on point for Spacestation. You know, NRG did actually intercept a couple of passes in game 2 before Spacestation started to put them together. So what confidence for Spacestation not to change it up and not to hold back on the passing plays because NRG had a couple of counterattacks. They think, nah, you know what? Forget NRG's counterattacks. Let's just hit them more accurately. Garrett with the outplay of the near post. 1 goal for NRG. Is it just consolation, though? Not much time left in the game.
Oh, you didn't bring out the, well, it could happen. You had that one yesterday, Johnny.
Well, that was 21 seconds. it's all about the extremes. 21 seconds, absolutely reasonable. 14, less so. Now we're getting to the crazy realms of possibility when you're sub 10. So that's when it's just a bit more fun to mention than anything else.
Just out there rubbing his hands. Just like, yeah, no one's ever going to do it. That's mine.
But when it does happen, you want to have it mentioned so that you can look like a genius in the post-match montage that gets put together. That's like the clip that they put before the comeback starts. Of course, they'd have to also include your constant thoughts on the matter, which are, it's not going to happen, Johnny. We're going to have another scoreless end of a game. Nobody scores 2 goals in 20 seconds.
We both have what we want, okay? You want that one to happen. I'm going to get the one where it's the 1-0, 1-0, 1-0 the whole way through. By the way, shout out to Sandrock Gaming getting one of those earlier on today. Thank you very much, lads. Made me very, very happy. But if you want to talk about genius montages right now, we're currently watching one. It is the genius montage of Spacestation Gaming and how they have picked apart NRG on the offense. They are just so confident. You see so many teams against NRG. They send a player, they lose the challenge, or they whiff the ball. Get that player back. We need 3 players to defend against NRG.
Yeah.
Spacestation are losing that player, and they go, cool. There's 100 boost over in that mid bit. I'm going to chill out over here. You're going to send that to me. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, it's very interesting to watch. I mean, right as I said that I think the Spacestation needs to get down and dirty. They need to go for demos, and they need to go just play for 50-50s, keep it simple. They went for the filthy clean route instead, like we discussed in game 2. They've been passing the ball with such precision. And even in the face of some deadly counter-attacking play from NRG, Spacestation think, you know what, let's just play our style. Let's just play our game. Clearly, that's what they've been working on in the run-up to this series, in the run-up to today. Team plays. They must have been drilling these into their gameplay because it's working. That's 2 games in a row against NRG, and game number 2 was a crazy comeback as well. Can Spacestation end the streak that NRG are on?
Garrett had to deal with Sipical, who was harassing him on that goal line. Just get the feeling that NRG are the team that really need this first goal. Just to restore a bit of confidence, a bit of belief into them that, Spacestation Gaming are actually human right now and that they can be scored on, because so far, the last 10 minutes of gameplay, Spacestation Gaming are showing up.
I'm not going to be one of the people who I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people who are going to be calling this an NRG slump after just 2 games. They played unbelievably for the past couple of months.
Johnny.
Yeah,
They've
10
been
minutes.
bad for 10 minutes.
Oh no, Justin's probably getting ready to change his name on Steam to Slump Incredible or something after this. He has to run by Dustin for today. Yeah, he's going to be the first to do it. I'm not, but the one thing that I did see in the last game, which didn't give me much hope for NRG, is that passing play, which was so carefully executed. They didn't just, really put their car through the ball. Again, that's a miss from Justin. And NRG are finding the same positions that they were earlier on in the series, but now they're not scoring from them. They've lost their edge. They've lost that killer instinct, it would seem.
One thing we are noticing actually is Garrett again saves. He has already got 4 in this game. Nothing for either his teammates. He has been the one that's had to quickly turn himself into action. But one thing I am noticing from Justin is that those cheeky half rotations that he goes for, those constant needs to be on the ball, it's not been there over the last 5 minutes of gameplay. Instead, he's taken a step back.
Yeah,
we'll find out whether or not it's the right decision as
Oh my!
That is insane. And he has torn his hand into that brain, and he figures out exactly what Garrett wants to do.
Yeah, Garrett just got downloaded there, Rettles. I don't know if you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to download a Garrett G. Is that not illegal? Is that not up there like downloading, movies and things you're not allowed to do? But it works. This is brilliant for Spacestation. One of the most perfect ways to start off the series is to get a big mind game win on Garrett G. Oh, Justin misses! NRG have absolutely lost the plot here, Shogun. And Spacestation are the ones who have to take full credit for it, because that's, I think, the 3rd time that we've seen the least confident shooting out of NRG that we've seen in well over a month of gameplay.
And we even look at this little sequence here. That was so much easier Then they ended up making it. Justin jumped, and he made Garrett second-guess himself. It could have just been the half-volley clear. Instead, it became a whole debacle just trying to get the ball into the midfield. NRG not firing on all cylinders right now. Arsenal over to Garrett. Garrett would like to have found somebody with that one, and he did. He found Arsenal. Justin comes on in. Where's his teammate? There's his teammate, but he's put high by the defender. Squishy over to Justin, and Arsenal keeps it out. Even when NRG get it all right, Spacestation Gaming remind them that, you know, it's not just on you guys. We have also got a say on if this ball goes in.
What a turnaround. Spacestation Gaming, between yesterday and today, look like two completely different teams. They suddenly are right back to their best, and NRG can't hit the target. Their shooting has completely deteriorated. I thought that they were past this part of their season where the inconsistencies start to come in after one thing goes wrong. You know, they just had to lose one game here, and now suddenly they've forgotten how to shoot, they've forgotten how to hit the ball hard, and Spacestation can't stop scoring. There's number 2.
Arsenal, mate, that's not okay. You can't just rip NRG apart like that. It has become a series that looked to be, especially in game number 1, the NRG show, just them re-establishing themselves at the top of the pecking order. As horrible it is to say for Spacestation Gaming, you know, despite how this has looked, this does not put them back at the top just yet. They have got to do this again tomorrow.
Yeah, this for now just has to be seen as a blip from NRG. They're clearly not playing their game anymore. They're in a lot of trouble here.
I just believe it every time I see Spacestation.
Yeah. You just think it's going to find the back of the net somehow. But, you know, Spacestation have played phenomenal Rocket League. Great team plays. We saw Rettles 1v1ing Garrett to start off this game. They've got their mojo back, but NRG seemingly have lost theirs. It's like not only have Spacestation got their mojo back, but they've stolen NRG's to do it. They've just taken it from them. And I was critical of NRG earlier in the season, for having pretty poor disaster management. You know, they'd lose a 50-50 in a game and then suddenly everything would fall apart. The whole house of cards comes tumbling down just because the smallest thing would go wrong. Is this another one of those cases? Because the way NRG are playing is what I'm worried about. The result, you know, that can happen. Even on a crazy streak like NRG have, you can still lose. That's, you know, a best of 5 against a team like SSG. You know, losing 3-1, not the issue. The issue is the way NRG are playing. They have just totally forgotten how to shoot and how to play with confidence in offense after a stunning game 1 and the beginning of a stunning game 2 as well. They looked like the same energy as we've been seeing in recent weeks. And then all of a sudden, Spacestation Gaming to completely turn this one around.
But that is what I want to see from Spacestation Gaming, not what we got yesterday. Yesterday, I got a bit worried because when we get to these stages of the season, when we've got this regional, we're not far away from hitting the major. You want the best Spacestation Gaming that we can possibly see. That is exactly what we ended up getting. And for NRG, the win streak does end up dropping at 14.
Wow.
And they'll look at that and say, well, that's not the way that we're going to drop a 14 series win streak. A couple of updates as well. United 3-0 against Plot Twist. Rogue 3-0 against Alpine. Team Frontline dropped 1-3 against the Peeps. And KCP have managed to go in over the top of, let me just get the proper names here, BOSF Esports. So, you know, a couple of interesting results there, but so far, North America holding to script.
Yeah, I think NRG should be fine. I'd be surprised if they lose another series today. They should probably be making it in on the next round without any issues. But I'm still a little bit worried by just how much they fell apart there all of a sudden. Is it a problem with the comms? Is it a problem with their confidence? We don't really know. But what we do know is that Spacestation Gaming played an incredible series there. They move on in one of the top 2 seeds to the playoffs. And once again, NRG might be on that same side of the bracket as G2. Yeah, we're going to find that out very soon. When we come back from a quick break, it's time for round number 4.